let's get it started. One moment, please. Hello?
Hey, darling, listen, I sent you something that's got
Yeah, I
you.
saw you sent me that. I am in the middle of something right now.
Okay, well, when you finish, can you do it?
It's going to be dark by the time I'm done.
Well, what time you going to work tomorrow?
I have to be there from 12:30 to 11, so I'll probably be leaving around 10.
Okay, well, can you take the pictures before then?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway, so let's get to it. Before we do, sir, introduce yourself.
It's Commissioner Bomanito. Glad to be here on another one of the BS Busters.
Glad to have you. This is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. Before we go any further, man, what you been playing?
I actually haven't been playing too much. I've just been messing around with my new home server. I've just been um, been setting that up for the past few days. Making a place where I can put on my movies and other stuff. Uh, that's pretty much what I've been doing. What about you? What have you been playing?
I recently reinstalled Starfield on my PC. While I'm currently getting my other PC back up and running. Uh, and my PC with the four M.2 NVMe drives. So I've got like 16 terabytes of hard drive space, SSD hard drive space on that.
Yeah, yeah. My mini PC, I'm using as a server plus an emulation box. I have around 16 terabytes as well.
Yeah, I mean, but the only reason I did this was because that's like, and that's just the main drive, the one that has my OS on it is like 2 terabytes on that machine. But like the 16 terabytes is just for Steam and other shit. Because more and more games are like, oh, this has to be on. This shit has to be on a SSD drive. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
You know, and I'm like, but I have like a 24 terabyte hard drive, external hard drive. No, I'm like, what? Like for real? So anyway, but yeah, so I'm. It's a Star Wars total conversion mod for Starfield that turns it into a Star Wars game. It's the only way you can really play Starfield, really, to be honest with you, because base Starfield sucks.
yeah,
Base Starfield is kind of trash.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think anything's gonna save that game. I think it
I
might just
mean,
be too.
you know, the thing about Bethesda games is, mods help. Like base Skyrim is trash. Like people are like, I only play the base version of Skyrim. I'm like, why? you know, it's like that's all you do. You don't even. It's like someone coming to me and say, well, I don't. All I do is eat. When I go to pizza places, all I have is the cheese pizza. You don't get any like different toppings. No, it's like, well, Jesus, you're a boring person, aren't you? Uh, You are a boring ass person. So that's kind of like the issue I have with vanilla. Now the thing is like you can in fact you know you can in fact do this shit. You can in fact uh you know play these heavily modded games, which makes them better in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
you know, um, that's kind of, in my opinion, that's kind of the thing that that's the thing that kind of messes up. Um, that's the thing that kind of messes up. Like, I mean, that's the thing about Bethesda games. Like Bethesda games, the only Bethesda game that I ever played where I was like, I don't really need mods in order to enjoy this is Oblivion. Like you can play vanilla Oblivion and it's like, oh, this is fine. But every other Bethesda
Yeah.
game, I'm like, this game has to be modded in order to be enjoyed because the base game has some major design issues that kind of bring it down a little bit. Like Starfield, had Starfield basically had they taken a page out of their Elder Scrolls series and had different alien races with their own proclivities and shit, Starfield would have been great. Because if you play Starfield as a Star Wars mod, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like you
Yeah, I
got the
can see that.
Star Wars music. The guy who's working on the mod. He's on version 8.4 right now. Like he's gonna add like lightsabers and shit. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be like the Star Wars game we always wanted.
Yeah.
But I mean, the base game. And I'm like, why is this enjoyable as a Star Wars game, not as Starfield? Well, because you have alien planets, like the classic alien planets in the Star Wars era. You've got Tatooine, Kashyyyk, um, Terrace, Endor, Dantooine, Tatooine, like all these different planets. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Coruscant, uh, forget the name of the imperial version of Coruscant, Korriban. Like it's like, oh, this is great. Like you have so many things going on here, and you have different alien races, and you have different alien factions. You've got like fucking Tusken Raiders on Tatooine. You've got fucking bounty hunters that are like the Trask, and the robot bounty hunter. It's like, oh wow, you basically have taken established lore and given me a playground to play in where I can do whatever I want. Nice. And then you fucking play, Starfield, and it's like, oh, this is basically Skyrim in space. Except I can't even play as other races.
Yeah.
The ships aren't really all that great. They aren't. They aren't. Basically, ships, like, you can only get up to what is essentially a freighter in the game, like a large freighter, which is cool. But it's like, man, like I wish this game would let me have capital ships where, like, okay, the capital ships, they can't land on the planet's surface because they're too big. So you have to have a shuttle that you take down to the planet's surface. And yeah, capital ships are huge and they can't land on planet surfaces. But to make up for that, like you can fucking, they have the most firepower. Like basically, if you take on dudes in a capital ship, they have like auto turrets that basically can destroy most other ships. Like the only thing that could take on a capital ship is either like an insanely powerful hero level ship that you loot from some quest line, or another capital ship. That would be cool. Nah. Just like Starfield is a series of unfinished ideas that they threw together in order to ship the game,
Yeah.
in order to meet a deadline. Like a certain game that we will mention later. But anyway, let's get to this first topic. Um, so Microsoft is desperately trying to desperately trying to not uh, trying to branch out and not claim that the Xbox is an actual physical console. They don't want it. They want to get out of the console manufacturing business. So listen to this story, published 8 hours ago. 8 years ago. 8 hours ago. Xbox is really getting around these days. Microsoft seems to be shoving its gaming platform onto all manner of things: handhelds, the cloud, Windows PCs, and now even cars, of all things. Not any and every car, though, just select internet connected vehicles with some LG smart TVs in them. Xbox says, with the Xbox built into LG's Web OS automotive content platform, ACP, passengers in internet connected vehicles will be able to stream and play games directly from the Xbox app. ACP is part of Playware, a suite of in-cabin entertainment solutions that will now apparently include Xbox game streaming. So if you're lucky enough to have a vehicle with smart TVs hooked up on the backs of seats and whatnot, then passengers only, you'll be able to play Xbox Game Pass games. You might even be able to stream non-Game Pass console games that you own if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member and Xbox Insider on the PC Gaming Preview, assuming the July update arrives here. Don't hold me to that, though. It's not terribly clear. What is clear is that Microsoft is keen on pushing its Xbox services as a whole multi-platform package, including streaming. Game Pass gets linked to cloud gaming, and cloud gaming is being pushed left, right, and center. He misspelled center. We've seen Microsoft's advertised games as not just PC slash Xbox console slash Game Pass games, but also Xbox cloud games, with the latter as a bona fide category alongside the others. Then, of course, there's the upcoming ROG Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X, and their default full screen experience mode that you can tap into Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Xbox is looking to be a big integrated platform more than anything, with game streaming forming a part of that. So I suppose why not add cars into the mix? I must admit, sitting in the back of the car as a child on those long journeys to see relatives up north might have been a little more fun if I'd had the option back then. Then again, I'd have missed all the real world passing me by out the window, and sometimes it's nice to keep it real, you know? I don't know how old this dude is. I had a Game Boy on long car trips when I was a child.
Yeah.
I had a Game Boy, damn it, and we liked it. I sound like an old man. I had a Game Boy, and it was delicious. We loved the Game Boy. It was our friend. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts on this topic, sir? I'm going to let you dive in first.
They've been wanting to be a service for a while, you know? Just by how they've been acting for the past few years and how they've been doling out their games, they've been wanting to be a service for a while. So
Yeah,
I'm not completely shocked by that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And considering that the Xbox fanboy, as they used to call them, the Xbox strong people, just kind of, the Xbox strong people kind of left that brand behind with, you know, with the Xbox One. They all jumped on board to the PlayStation. So moral of the story is your fans are only as, only Nintendo has fans that literally they could walk in on Nintendo robbing their house of everything. They'll be like, "Oh man, Nintendo, thanks. Hey, let me show you where the good shit is. Here's the code to my bank account. Take everything." Nintendo fans just fucking insane. Anyway, so with that being said, I guess I'll give my thoughts. I agree 100%. It's not good. it's not good. It's really not good. But this is what we got to deal with now.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of sad for those people who are like, it's this is not good for those people who are like really into, who want to do something different. It's not good for those people who wanted, who were like into actually having a console. But we live, like you said, we're living in a more increasingly more interconnected world where our appliances are all talking to each other, either through the cloud or through Wi-Fi or through internet connections. There's some way that all of our devices are talking to each other. So why the hell not?
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
I mean, you know, like me personally, I don't really give a shit. I game mostly on my PC. So for me, like gaming on anything but my PC, I don't really care. But I know there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh my god, how can this be?" And to those people, I feel your pain, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, I feel bad for some people, but that's the way it is, folks.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with it, but that's what it is. Anyway, with that being said, let's keep it moving to the next topic. Rah. So, as you know, every year gaming companies release all their big games between September and December.
Yeah.
4 months, the last 4 months of the calendar year, they release all their shit. And it gets to be really fucking old. Really fucking
Yeah.
quickly. I don't know about you, but I am getting really goddamn tired of them putting every single thing out at the same time. Every year. You know,
Yeah.
because it's like, first of all, I'm going to keep it real. I don't even buy a lot of video games during the holiday season. I get most of my games in January, February, March, April, May, earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So when I see
Yeah.
every.
Same here.
No, go ahead, sir.
I typically, yeah. I got a whole. I got. They were older games, but I got a whole plethora of games in during August. Last August, I got like like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
Um, So it's like,
I mean, to be fair,
yeah,
full disclosure, I get a lot of my games off of Steam sales. Okay,
yeah, that too.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna front with people. You buy games on sale on Steam? Yes, I do. Cause why pay full price if you don't have to? You know, Steam sales are like going to Las Vegas and you meet a hot chick, and then you wake up the next day. You're like, "What? We actually did something? Jesus, what the hell happened? I don't remember anything." That's Steam sale. That's the equivalent of a Steam sale. You're like, I don't remember getting this game, but it's in my library.
Yeah.
So that's my own personal opinion, But yeah, so everyone putting everything in the same damn category all the time. It gets old. It gets really old really quickly with everything coming out at because I mean, here's the thing, right? Like children aren't playing as many video games as they used to. The people who have the buying power to buy a lot of games are people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s. You know, the millennials and the Generation X's from those are the people who have the money to buy video games. So, these people have jobs. They have money all year. So why are you just giving people money, you know? Like why are you just putting everything out at the same damn time? It gets old really quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, your thoughts on it, sir?
Yeah, there's too many, there's, I've noticed the past, I don't know, probably 10, 15 years that they're starting to spread things out a little bit more. Bigger releases are starting to come out earlier in the year because most of the people buying games are adults at this point. So there is, um, so, and plus, by spreading your games out, that gives you more time for people to focus on your game versus September through December, all these games coming out at once. You're bound to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, like Hollow Knight Silk Song came out, right? The prequel to the original Hollow Knight, and
Yeah.
Atari apparently published a game that's actually really good, but they released it on the same day as Hollow Knight Silk Song. I'm like, why the
Yeah.
fuck would you do that?
Yeah. What game did Atari
It was called
publish?
Adventure of Samsara or something like that. It's based on a game that they made a long time ago, like back in the 80s. And from what I heard, it's a legit good game. It's like a Metroidvania pseudo RPG type thing. It's got some good shit going on. But I'm like, why would you release it at the same time as fucking, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is a packed month because you got fucking Borderlands 4 coming out. You got Borderlands 4 coming out this month. Then you got some other stuff coming out this month. Then next month you got some other stuff. Like there's a lot of stuff coming out. I understand, but Jesus, for the love of all things good, like spread your shit out.
Yeah.
But anyway, anything else you want to say before we move on to the next topic, sir?
Um, and some of these companies have heavy hit, like multiple heavy hitters. And the best thing to do is to spread them out throughout the year rather than just release them practically all at once.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's my big thing. I just want them to do some different stuff because it gets old really fucking quickly, and I just want different stuff. Do something different. God damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving to the next topic, which is, oh man, not everything needs to be a damn movie. Uh, I've been saying this for a long time. These companies want to make everything into a movie. The like BioShock. There's going to be a BioShock movie. It's going to be based on the first game, which makes sense because the first game is basically a movie any goddamn way.
Yeah.
You know, you were programmed all along. Some shit like that. So might as well keep it going. So basically, the Legend of Zelda is being made into a live action movie, which I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, I don't want to watch a Legend of Zelda movie, not live action. Um, and apparently, it's come out in 2027. So it's gonna be live action. It's gonna have some guy playing Link and some girl playing Zelda. Etc. 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 I kind of don't care. Sorry, I don't want to watch a Legend of Zelda movie. That's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, it'd be better as like an anime or something.
Eh, I
Television
mean,
show.
I agree. It probably would be better as an anime, but my thing is, I don't really want.
My ideal of Legend of Zelda would probably be something akin to, since Link doesn't talk, something akin to Samurai Jack, where you
Yeah,
have very
that
minimal
would
voice
work.
acting.
Yeah, I would.
And it's just
That would work
a
really well. Or
lot of the storytelling is told through the
environmental
animation.
storytelling.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
that'd be the ideal way to do it.
yeah, I agree. Either that or you do a Legend of Zelda TV show where it's told from the point of view of it's told from the point of view of like other characters who exist in that world.
Right.
Not from Link's point of view, but from other characters' point of view. I think that would be a very interesting way to tell that story.
Yeah,
Because then you'd
that would be
see.
interesting too.
No, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, that would be interesting too as well.
Yeah, because then you'd get to see basically, like you'd see everything from like you'd see how badass Link is, but from the outside looking in. Because the thing
Yeah,
is, if you're playing a Legend of Zelda game, you know Link's a badass because you're playing as Link, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah,
if you see him doing this amazing shit from the outside in, it's like, oh shit, how is this person doing all this shit? That would make it more. That would chat up the legend and make it more badass. Um, Basically the opposite of the Book of Boba Fett, where you basically found out that Boba Fett was a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, Boba Fett, he's so badass. Is he though? I don't really. It's like, this guy's badass. It's like, I don't really think he is. I think you're full of shit, really. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just think you're full of shit. I don't think he's all that badass. I think you're just up your own ass about this. Really, to be honest with
Yeah.
you, it's Link's a badass. Really? Because I don't really. I'm not seeing it as you know. Then there's different versions of Link. Okay, which version of Link do you want to deal with? I mean,
Yeah.
like, are we talking like Kid Link? Because Kid Link sucks. Kid Link has always sucked. Even Majora's Mask Kid Link kind of sucks. You don't believe me? What's the best part of Majora's Mask? When you get the Fierce Deity mask. And he
Yeah.
basically becomes an adult. Oh, well, Kid Link in Ocarina of Time. No one likes being Kid Link in Ocarina of Time. Going through the 3 dungeons you have to go through as Kid Link, the Great Deku Tree, and the Dongo Cavern, and Jebu Jebu's Belly as a kid is fucking. It's annoying. It's painful. It's like, God, Jesus fucking Christ, I have to do this. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Also, that you can become an adult and wield better weapons. you know, you know. And there's always that weird point in the game where it's like, you're an adult, Link. Oh, it's been 7 years. Okay, that's cool and all, but did this creepy old man come in here while I was asleep and pierce my ears? Give me earrings? What the fuck's up with that?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my opinion. That's it. Anything else you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
Nah.
All
I'm
right.
good.
So yes, not everything needs to be a damn movie, and if you're gonna do it, do it well. But I mean, I think we can both agree that the Legend of Zelda movie is probably gonna be shit. Right?
We're just gonna have to wait and see.
I mean, come on, man.
Perhaps.
It's
Perhaps it might be.
look, man. Look,
Maybe.
the Mario movie isn't good either. We just kind of we let it gets a pass because it depending on your age group, it's inoffensive, and it is very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very it's got nostalgia bait in it, and a lot of like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? But if you really get down to it, it's a very basic bitch movie.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, it's worse than a basic bitch movie because like the whole film is, oh man, look how badass Princess Zelda is. Well, shit. Princess Peach is. Well, shit. If Princess Peach is this badass, what the fuck do we need with Mario?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a goddamn, if you're gonna do a damn, if you're gonna do a damn, my rule of thumb is this: if you're gonna do a damn, if you're gonna do a damn, if you're gonna do a movie, you know, about these characters, at least, if you're gonna do a Mario movie, at least have Mario have some fucking agency in his own damn movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, Jesus, you really are a loser. Why are you here? And they're like, well, he ate the like literally the Mario movie is a fucking low rent knockoff of the Popeye movie from Richard Altman. Because with Robin Williams, because in the Popeye movie with Robin Williams, the big thing is that Popeye doesn't want to eat his spinach. We
Yeah.
as the audience know that spinach is the source of all of his power. Whereas the big thing in the Mario movie is that Mario doesn't want to eat mushrooms. He doesn't like mushrooms, which is weird because he's an Italian.
Yeah.
And when he finally eats a mushroom, he becomes Big Mario. It's like, oh, he's Super Mario now. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't, whatever. Point is that the movie is lazy, and frankly speaking, they just kind of threw some shit together. And I wish they had gotten a different animation studio to make that movie. Like, DreamWorks. DreamWorks would have probably done a better script, and you would have had a better movie. And people are like, well, Nintendo didn't want to rock the boat. Look, man, you know good and hell well that if they had done a fucking a Mario movie is gonna sell no matter what.
Yeah.
So all they needed was just to fucking just have a better script, and it would have been a better movie. And you putting in like you getting Chris Pratt to voice Mario, I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, they kept on trying to make Chris Pratt into a thing. I'm like, please stop putting Chris Pratt in everything. Please. Please.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that. It's time to move on to a meaty topic that we have here, which is Mark Dara, the former Anthem lead producer, says flying in BioWare's doomed live-action shooter is proof of dysfunction in its development. It's Anthem's worst feature because the consequences of flying aren't adequately taken into account. So, this was published 3 hours ago. Let's talk about it. Former BioWare producer Mark Dara just released the second 2-hour video in his Tell-All Anthem trilogy, in which he's chronicling his recollections about the production of the infamous BioWare live-action shooter that's due to go offline for good when its lifetime of development turmoil ends in January. So, EA's going to take it out back and shoot in the head. They're gonna do Lenny and George from of Mice and Men. Look at the birds. Look at the birds, George.
Well, yeah.
Look at the birds, George. Look at the birds. Dara's first video covered Anthem's earliest years and the issues with its initial conception that he said echoed through the duration of its development. This second chapter is a meaty one because it begins in 2017, the year that Dara took over as the project's executive producer, and a time when he said Anthem had developed this highly dysfunctional relationship with decision-making. In the years following Mass Effect creator and original Anthem creative director Casey Hudson's departure from BioWare, Dara said that Anthem wallowed without a clear direction. Sustained by BioWare mythology and EA's hopes for the project's live-action potential, Anthem existed in a purgatory where decisions about its production were either never made or endlessly relitigated. Massive numbers of decisions that affected other decisions behind them were piling up on the project and preventing the game from coalescing into something that can actually ship, Dara said. The thing is, games are made out of decisions. So if you aren't making decisions, or if you're constantly undoing the decisions that are made, you aren't moving towards a game, towards having a game. Even after he took over as executive producer and started making calls to drive the production forward, Dara said that the inertia persisted. So he said that inertia persisted. As an example, he said that when he joined the project, only a single Anthem mission existed, Den of Wolves. Despite his effort to get the dev team to move on to other missions, Dara said that the studio instead burnt that mission down and built it again. By doing so, the team hampered its ability to assess the reasons why Anthem's missions didn't give players much to do. The mission quality in Anthem would have become obvious earlier, perhaps early enough to have actually addressed the issue. Dara said, but instead we continued to work on Den of Wolves for another several months. And by the time it was clear that the project didn't have enough activities within its missions, it was frankly too late to really do anything about it. Dara blames an amount of this continued dysfunction on his own failure to diagnose a breakdown in communication between BioWare's Austin and Edmonton offices. At the time when Dara joined the project, he and the rest of the Anthem's leadership were based in the BioWare Edmonton office, which had started to foster an atmosphere of skepticism about the work coming from the development staff at BioWare Austin, an atmosphere that Dara said he was initially susceptible to. I was in Edmonton. I was surrounded by the leaders of the project who distrusted the effectiveness of the team in Austin, and that was the bias that I picked up, Dara said. I similarly didn't put in time to completely understand what was going on in the ground in Austin. And it resulted in me making some big missteps. Dara said issues with communication and direction improved as senior production and technical leadership roles moved to the Austin office, but the duration of the breakdown meant BioWare wasn't fully comprehending fundamental issues with Anthem's design until late in its development. Because, in classic BioWare style, the game was only coming together in the last few months, its issues weren't obvious in the code until it was often much too late to fix it. There were people, most of whom who were in Austin, who were screaming into the darkness that we needed to think about things like the economy, things like the end game, well before it was too late. But because that leadership had become dysfunctional, because these communication channels had been damaged between Edmonton and Austin, that wasn't really being heard. Anthem's flying, Dara said, is a crystallization of the project's dysfunction. Flying in Anthem feels great. Great enough that it's the primary thing you'll hear former Anthem players remembering fondly. But as enjoyable as soaring around in a bespoke Iron Man suit was, Dara said it revealed how thoroughly Anthem's creative direction was ill-conceived. Anthem's development had what Dara called an on-again, off-again relationship with flying. It had been implemented for varying degrees throughout the project, but its inclusion always brought design complications. Flight changes the demands of environmental art and design. It means combat has to account for players making melee enemies cover irrelevant at moments' notice. It presents technical challenges for memory management and asset streaming, and it makes mission and narrative. Sorry, I had to take my glasses off. It makes mission and narrative design a nightmare because a party of floor could be flying around and triggering events in different areas of the map at the same time. For those reasons, Dara said Anthem's creative director had made the call to remove Flight, have the team focus on core game design, and revisit Flight afterwards. But while Flight was eventually re-implemented, it had been absent for long enough that the rest of the game barely acknowledges it's there. Not only is it causing consequences in the way that other things are working, other things aren't pushing back, aren't causing their own consequences, intentionally integrating and weaving it into the overall structure of the gameplay as a whole. Dara said, I think ant flying is Anthem's best feature, but I think you can argue that in a lot of ways it's Anthem's worst feature, because the consequences of flying aren't adequately taken into account.
Seems like a lot of, seems like A, the studio is too big. B, there's a lot of miscommunication. A lot of, nobody seemed to be steering they didn't seem to have a captain.
Yeah, and even when they had a so-called captain, people weren't, no one was listening to each other. Because when he's like, yeah, Austin was telling us that the in-game economy is fucked, that the end game is not working, that this is not working, the missions aren't coming together. Like, these are issues that the people I know who are critical of Anthem, these are issues that they said when it shipped, that the end game is shit, that the in-game economy is broken. That I'm like, oh wow, y'all didn't listen to the studio who was actually working on the shit. Because Edmonton was like doing co-lead shit. The people who were actually in the meat grinder doing the work was Austin, and they weren't listening to the people who were doing the work.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like, how do you just let things get this bad?
Yeah, well the
Bunch
thing
of people
is,
working,
I'm
bunch of
sorry.
people working together that probably just a bunch of people working together that shouldn't have been working together.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, well, communication had broken down. I'm like, you do realize that BioWare Austin was like their A team, right?
Yeah,
Edmonton used to be
yeah,
their
I
A
didn't know
team.
that.
Edmonton is the
Yeah,
old guard, like that made like Mass Effect and Dragon Age and Baldur's Gate, shit like that. But they're like when Mass Effect 2 came out and Dragon Age Origins, Austin made those games. They were their A team. They took their A team to work on Anthem. So if you're 18 people, if you have a basketball team and your best player comes up to you and says, hey, the atmosphere in the locker room's fucked up, you should listen to them. They aren't saying that because they're being dicks. They're saying that because they want to address the issue before it gets worse.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, it just shows how dysfunctional BioWare was. You know, that BioWare
I think the
magic
company
will
is
do
pretty
everything
much
at the last minute. There's a lot of shit you can do at the last minute. You can't do a major project at the last minute. If someone says, hey, man, hey, bro, you have to, hey, bro, you have to do a 200-page paper about the the discovery of evolution. And you were given that like 4 months ago. And it's literally like the week it's due and you start 2 days before. Do you think you're going to be able to turn out a good paper? Or
Yeah, that's
project?
really crazy.
You're not going to. The answer is you're probably
No.
going to fuck that up royally. Or kill
Yeah.
yourself trying to finish something and it's still going to be fucked up because you didn't have time to properly research, prepare, deal with counter arguments, you know, all this type of shit. It's going to be a lot of issues. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I used to be one of those last minute type of motherfuckers. Oh, let me do this at the last minute. I used to be one of those people.
Yeah. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't.
No, it didn't. It didn't. When I hear people, yeah, I just did that 50-page paper the night before. I'm like, are you fucking insane? That's some of the most half-ass bullshit-ass work I've ever done was last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do last minute stuff, but I never did like the entire project the last minute.
I used to be one of those people. Let me do this whole thing at the last minute. Yeah, this is nothing could possibly go wrong. It's like reality's like, oh really? let me disabuse you of that notion.
What would happen is typically I would take notes on the particular project, and then I would have all my notes ready, but I wouldn't write the paper until the last minute.
Yeah, but that still was some prep work. I mean, literally, I wouldn't even do research. I would
Uh,
literally wait until the last minute. That's why I was such a terrible student for the first, like from the 6th grade up to the 9th grade. I was not a good student. Like the shit that I
yeah,
was interested in, I did well in. The shit that I didn't care about, I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I didn't become a good student until I was in 9th grade. And my mom had to talk with me. Said, we don't have the money to send you to college. You're going to need a scholarship. So I had to buckle down and start becoming a good student.
yeah. You had to figure it out pretty quickly, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it had to. I mean, look, man, there's nothing that makes you focus like knowing that you need a bachelor's degree in order to do A, B, C, and D. And if you don't, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So, but enough about that. So yeah, basically what I'm saying is this: that BioWare magic, we can do this at the last minute. Why? This is not smart at all. Why would you? Why would you wait to the last minute to do basic shit that needs to be done in order for a game to work?
Yeah, exactly. Especially a game with a lot of RPG elements, or at least, go with a lot of RPG elements. Definitely need time to test and
Yeah.
get stuff to cook.
Well, the biggest thing with Anthem is that Anthem's not even an RPG. So basically, they waited to the last minute. They worked on a game, on an IP, on a game genre they've never worked on. They didn't know shit about.
And they were using an engine that
That
wasn't
they
really
weren't
even
ultra
designed for
familiar
that.
with.
Yeah,
Meaning
they were
the
using an
game
engine
type.
they
No, go ahead. Sorry.
They were using an engine that they, like you said, they weren't familiar with, and an engine that wasn't even designed to do the things that they wanted the game to do.
Well, Frostbite was designed for them for it's more of a physics-based engine. You know, it's designed to do that open world shit. So, I mean, it was designed to do that, but like they themselves weren't familiar with that engine. To
Yeah,
make a genre game that they aren't familiar with making. And then you
yeah,
have the two major studios under BioWare not communicating. And
yeah,
it's just, it was like, well, no wonder this game failed. There was nowhere it could go but down.
yeah. Yeah, that era was weird because everybody wanted to go off and use their own engine. And now everybody's running back to Unreal because, everybody knows how to use Unreal.
That is true,
So
but
it's like,
Unreal has issues itself because you still have to optimize Unreal for, you know, everyone wants to optimize Unreal, but if you look at like, okay, I'm a huge fan of the Flying Wild Hog Shadow Warrior games. It's a trilogy, right? First two games they use their own engine, the Hog engine, and it's amazing. The third game they made using Unreal, and it runs like shit.
yeah,
You know, Unreal is a nice catch-all engine. And I'm thinking, like, the way I look at it is if you're making like a single A game or a double A game and you want like a decent tool set to make a decent open world or, third person Souls like game, Unreal is great. But still, using your own engines is still a hallmark of being good at making games, you know? Because think about
yeah.
it, some of the best games ever made weren't made using Unreal. They were made using fucking custom engines.
Well, I mean, I agree with you 100%. It's just like, unfortunately, you're going to find a higher pool of people to hire if you
No,
know,
I understand
use
that.
Unreal
I
versus
understand that
using a
because it's easier
proprietary
to get
engine.
into. It's easier because
Yeah.
everyone has a prerequisite. It's like the difference between can you make something from scratch versus can you pop something in the microwave or in the oven.
I mean, if you want to dick around with game development, you're a novice game development, and you want to, you know, get your feet wet, Unreal Engine is practically free. So
Yeah. So is Unity.
Unity and also, well, this isn't a game engine, but uh, I forgot the name of it. It's a 3D rendering engine.
I mean, a lot of them are doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not really like, oh my god.
yeah,
So my point is this. My point is just simply to say this. Gaming is, gaming. Like I understand the idea behind doing it, but I mean, here's the thing. Okay, fine. Then you want to use Unreal, cool. Could we use customized versus Unreal? Because I'm tired of playing a lot of games. And it's the same. Like you can tell an Unreal game because they use a lot of the same fucking assets, same
yeah.
camera for the 3D for the character models. It's like they don't change. They don't change shit. I'm like, God damn, this is Unreal, isn't it?
Especially when you see anime like base games that use Unreal Engine,
Yeah,
it's like they all kind of look the same.
yeah, it's very even not even animated. Just play a game that has a um 3D art style.
Yeah,
Like with a third person, first person view where you can go third person, first person. The shit you can tell when it's Unreal because they don't change any of those parameters in terms of camera and gameplay feel and like movement. It's like, oh, this is an Unreal game. I mean, at least customize the fucking shit so it's different.
yeah, yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. Anyway, Anything else you want to add before we move on to the final little bit, which is unpopular opinion and free topic, or should I say free topic then unpopular opinion?
No, I'm pretty much good on this.
All right,
This
so I guess we'll move on. Free topic, yeah, yeah. So, do you have anything you'd like to bring up? You're like, I have to say this. This must be said.
The handheld gaming PC market is out of control.
Yes, it is.
Um, there's too many coming out at once, and they're too damn expensive.
And the quality is not where it needs to be for a lot of them.
Yeah,
I think
battery life
wasn't that
sucks.
Lenovo had the Legion that's that's the size that's as expensive as a fairly good laptop.
Yeah, I mean you can buy a gaming laptop that's more capable than that machine.
You could get a decent business laptop for less. You can get a decent
Yeah,
what's it called a ThinkPad for like a decent ThinkPad, not top of the line, but like maybe a sub top of the line, $8.99, and you could also game on that too, because some of them have
yeah,
graphics cards in them.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm looking at this, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I Neo and their high ass price handheld gaming consoles. I'm just like, yeah. There's only I think Valve's going to be the winner ultimately
Well,
when it
yeah,
comes
because
down to
Valve
it.
has the heart, has the ecosystems to support a handheld.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, we have Steam. It's like, yeah, and I don't care who you are, Epic. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, I mean, now they're coming out with dual screens, which is pretty like Neo came out with a dual screen handheld Windows PC, and now they're coming out with an Android version. I mean, that stuff is cool, but again, it's a shit ton of money to play, high quality your DS games and higher definition. I mean, that's cool, but is it worth the money?
I mean,
I
on a
guess it really
handheld, if you have
depends
a
who you
decent enough
are.
screen, it doesn't matter. The issue is that they're like, oh, well, it's gonna move. Like, I would rather have a handheld that has a more stable frame rate, so it needs more visual memory, VRAM, than graphical fidelity. And the problem is that like all these handhelds are like, oh, it's gonna be 12K, 4K, 2K. I don't need 2K in a fucking handheld. The screen is too goddamn small to care about the resolution. What matters is can it is going to be heat, can it stay relatively cool, and does it have enough visual RAM to maintain a steady frame rate? That's what matters.
Yeah.
The Switch suffered with that, and the Switch 2 also suffers with that, where it's like, oh great, yeah, the screen looks great. Why is the frame rate dipping like a motherfucker?
Yeah.
Frankly speaking, I don't care about resolution with handheld games. I care more about resolution. Also, this shit's getting expensive, man.
Yeah, these handhelds it's just too much money. It's just
Like
too much money. Like you can get yourself a nice mini PC that can run the games just as well as those handhelds, or maybe a Steam Deck.
yeah, you can get a high end Steam
Yeah,
Deck for what? You can get a high end Steam Deck for like what? 20 for 679.
yeah. I mean, I think even the highest end framework desktop PC is slightly cheaper than the uh, Lenovo Legion.
Yeah,
So
I think the base
it's
model's
just
like $1,109. I'm like, God damn.
yeah,
How the fuck you gonna charge someone $1,109 for a handheld? Now, here's the thing:
yeah,
if that was the only thing on the game, okay, they can name their price. But when I can literally pay $679 and get a fucking Steam Deck, the high end Steam Deck, for $679, like the good one that like has like the two 2 terabyte NVMe drives on it, and I can hook that up to a piece to a TV and do Steam Big Mode. I mean, I'm like, I can stream from my gaming desktop to the thing. I mean, it's like, wow, why the fuck would I? I mean, the specs aren't as good, but who needs specs when I can do all this shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, that's my own personal opinion. Um, that's my unpopular opinion. I don't think I'll have a free topic, but that's my unpopular opinion. Some people are gonna get mad when they hear that. I don't really care. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it. Damn it.
I have one more topic slash. This is an unpopular opinion. So the Apple event happened just yesterday.
All right.
They showed off their new phones.
Let me
And I
guess. They were
couldn't-
too damn expensive with features stripped out so that they can sell it to you later on as something else.
Well, I mean, sure. Well, actually, they did the opposite this time.
Oh, really?
They actually
They didn't screw people over as much.
No, they actually gave features that should have been in the basic models. There should have been in the feature. That should have been features in the basic models. They put features in those phones now. So that was the silver lining. That was the highlight. But other than that, I just didn't. I couldn't give a shit about any of it really.
I can understand that.
I'm
At
just
a
gonna.
certain point, like as you get older, you start to find out what you really care about, and then shit you
Yeah.
don't care about. Like I am more interested. Like for me personally, and I know this is gonna sound bad, I give a shit more about. I give a shit more about. I care more about retro stuff than new stuff. Like I care more about like, hey, like we're coming out with a new EverDrive that will let you play, Super Nintendo CD games, or that will let you play DD games on your N64. Like I care more about that. Or hey, we're coming out with a device that you can put to your GameCube that lets you run the games off a SD card, a micro SD card, versus you having to, so that the laser, because the laser like basically dies over time and they aren't making new ones. Like you have to get a replacement. So it's better just to like let it just like read the memory than you running a disk, because that laser goes down over time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I care more about that than like, oh my God, man, this new phone. It's like, look, I just need something that lets me put my Google Wallet on it, and that's about it. I don't really give a shit about all the other stuff.
I sat back and I wonder, it's like, what do I do on my phone? Well, I listen to YouTube videos. I listen to music. I make phone calls every once in a while. I read text messages. The cameras are serviceable. It doesn't. I don't need a pro phone for the camera features.
Yeah.
It's just like, what what am I doing? What am I doing getting all giddy about the new big pro phone when I'm not going to use like over half of those features? I don't know. That's just what I realized. And I think another one of the more annoying parts about it is the iPhone Air. I was like looking at that and like, who the heck is that for? Who's the iPhone Air for? Because you're getting a better phone with the iPhone 17, the base iPhone 17. Because there are certain features that are going to get stripped out of the iPhone Air. The iPhone Air is very baffling.
They probably want to make a cheaper version for people who want who are already in the iPhone ecosystem but don't have a lot of money
It's
to.
more expensive than the iPhone
Oh, oh,
17.
I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of
It's
that. You
$1,000.
know what? I should slap myself because iPhone, Apple doesn't make cheaper alternatives for people. They haven't made a cheaper alternative in like 20 years for anybody. Let me slap myself. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. The DNA of Steve Jobs is still very much in this company. Let's rip you off for everything you've got because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, yeah. I was just like looking at this, and it's like it's actually worse than the it's actually worse than the base model. It's going to have a shorter battery life. Oh, they said all day battery life, which fuck does that mean?
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. Here's what that means. You will have decent battery life for the first like maybe 6 months to 8 months if you charge it, up to like 85%. You never fully charge it unless you know you're going to really use it. Then after
Yeah,
about 6 months to 8 months to a year, the battery is going to start getting degraded, and your battery will probably last 6 7 hours unless you get one of those one of those battery extender things you can plug your phone into that's like a extra battery. It's like you attach it to your phone to increase the battery life. But who the fuck
yeah,
wants to do all that? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's probably going to happen is that people are going to get giddy about the iPhone and are going to go through the same song and dance we've been going for the past couple of years. And then people are going to be like, you know what? It ain't that great. Maybe you should just skip this one and wait for the 18. Because I feel like this seems to be a pattern, especially when it comes to tech YouTube.
Well,
When it comes to the iPhone,
it's Apple. See, here's the thing. Apple, despite what many people may think, Apple only holds like I want to say 15% of the smartphone market. So they basically have to figure out ways to milk the fuck out of that 15%. And they did that by like stripping out features. Hey, you like having a headphone jack because wired audio is always going to be better than Bluetooth. Fuck you.
yeah,
We're stripping that out. You got to buy our fucking headphones. Our expensive as fuck, overpriced $350 headphones. It's like I don't want to buy your headphones. Okay. And I can't prove
I'm
it,
just
but I believe that they intentionally nerf third party um, brands when you use Bluetooth on their devices, so that you have to buy their shit because it's unnerfed, so it sounds a little bit better. I can't prove it, but I know they do it with a lot of their applications. Like if you use if you use the Apple Movie Maker on non-Apple products, it runs like shit. If you use it on Apple products, it runs better.
yeah, yeah. The problem is like I follow tech specs. I enjoy the rat race of tech specs and to see the evolution of technology year over year. But at the same time, I have to come back to earth. And it's like people get all giddy about tech specs and the new chips. And it's like, okay, I mean that's all cute, but what does this actually mean for real world usage? Because what people like to do is they like to use Geekbench and stuff, and it's like, but it's not real world. That's just
Also, you shouldn't be buying Apple products if you care about tech specs, because the technical specifications for most Apple products are not. No, think about it. Think about it. If you own a business and you need like number crunching, AI driven CPU crunching type of stuff, they're using NVIDIA graphics cards and
yeah,
AMD
typical.
Threadrippers and shit like that. They're not using Apple's cell architect, whatever the fuck Apple's using these days. Even
And
Apple's own shit,
yeah,
they're like, yeah, you don't need a graphics card on our Pro. You just need our custom memory, and then you look at the specs, and it's like, oh, a dedicated high-end graphics card with shit all over these specifications and the performance of this. So basically, you're charging me a 40% upcharge for something where I could have just got myself a PC dedicated to this, and it would have run just as well and been cheaper. But it's got an Apple logo on it, so I guess it's worth the price.
Yeah.
Hey man, so you bought that Apple computer and it was $8,000. Yeah, it's got 128 gigabytes of the Apple memory on it. Oh, that's great. So what do you use it for? I use it for crunching graphics. Wow, that's nice. I do the same thing. I spent $5,000 on my rig, but it's a motherboard with dual graphics card slots. I use 2 graphics card slots. They're not even top of the line. They're like 3080s, but it gets the job done. It's like, for real? Yeah. Actually, it takes me 20 hours to render this video out on my rig. It only took me like 8. That is the Apple ethos. But mine's better because it's got an Apple logo on it. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Anyway, enough of that. That's the end of the cast. Thank you for joining us. Anything you want to pimp out, sir? I know you have vidges and music.
Yeah, music channel. Obviously I have Spotify now, Synaptic Garden. Also I have some music coming out this month, so be on the lookout for that. And catch you guys later.
Yeah, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, play your games. We're trying to grow the channel yet again. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy. Play video games, etc., etc. So, peace and good night.